Welcome to Coaching Time with me, Benjamin Bailey, a professional coach, and we're going to talk today about what is the most important to focus on when learning a new track. So when you arrive to a new track, what is the main thing you're going to do? So the main thing you're going to do, obviously the lines, you have that, is you have like some ideal line, out, in, out. So here, it's a right corner, you brake on the left, try to be as close to the white line as possible, take the inside, let the car goes to the white line on the exit. This is pretty basic. So one of the things we talked about before, the reference. So you will try to get your reference point as fast as possible. So that means here in La Source, with the GT it was 80 meters. With this one, maybe it will be 70, 60 meters, because you arrive also a lot faster. But just try to have your reference. So here in La Source, I have the little house here that I know it's where I start to turn, take a lot of curb. At the end of the straight, I know that I'm going to brake more or less after the start of the curb on the left. So quickly figured out where do I need to brake. And then the lines, it's pretty much the same everywhere. That means out, in, out, but the reference will affect the way, how fast you learn a new track. So spend your times first on looking, okay, 100 meter, start of the curb, or it could be a tree or a house or something on the side of the track, of when you have to start braking in the different corner, the different braking zone around the track. And then you try to push slowly, 10 meters, 5 meters, a little bit earlier. Then you try to turn a little bit earlier, turn a little bit later. But the most important for me is the references. The advantage with the simulator is that you can push the reset button and then just go back to the pit. In the real life, you're unable to do that. So that's why the simulator is it's a perfect tool to learn a new track, because it allows yourself to push more. But I would say it's better to stay calm and not over push, because if you over push, you're going to go off, you're going to reset, you're going to get frustrated. So the best way to learn a track quick and to be fast on the track, it's to take it easy at first. Obviously, you can push a lot more than what you do in real life. But like I said with the GT, brake maybe a little bit earlier, but focus on doing the things right. So the proper braking, stop the car too much before the corner, etc. And then push step by step. So push your braking, push your minimum speed into the corner, try to get on the throttle earlier, and that's where you're going to really gain the time. Because if you spend your time trying too hard and getting on the throttle too early, then you're gonna off the track, you're gonna get frustrated, and you're not gonna learn as easy as if you are really focusing on doing the step. So the steps are braking references, a little bit of rolling, be patient to get on power, don't try to get on power too early, and step by step push all these things. So brake 2-3 meters later, apply the power a little bit earlier, carry a little bit more minimum speed, and then you will easily find out when you are getting too much over the limit. So if you brake too late, you're going to lock up, you're going to miss the apex. If you carry too much minimum speed, you're probably going to understeer on the exit of the corner and have to wait a lot before you apply the power. And if you get on the power too early, simply you're going to spin out. So, try to identify where you are lacking the most. So if the entry of the corner is good and you see you struggling on the exit, perhaps you are carrying too much minimum speed. And if you are missing the apex completely, that perhaps you are trying to brake too late. So try to adjust corner by corner and step by step every corner on every track. But the most important will be to start getting some strong references for braking, and at the same time for turning into the corner, for example. In order to find the limit, you need to push too much, because if you don't make mistake, if you don't go off the track, like here I was a little bit too eager on the power, then you don't know where the limit is. So you obviously need to crash. And on the sim, luckily enough, it costs no money. So compared to real life, if you crash, you end up with a bill. You see, like here, you end up with a bill of 10,000 euro, 15,000 euro for crashing a corner of a car, of a race car. But Here you can just put reset and start again. So I would not advise anyone to just go out and crash every lap, because you're not going to learn anything. But of course, at some point, you need to go over the limit and crash a couple of times to find out, okay, that is too much, and now I need to carry a little bit less speed in that corner. I need to brake a little bit earlier to figure it out. Consistency, it is the opposite of, you know, trying to find that perfect lap. It's more like, first you try to find how fast you can go, and then when you want to do like an endurance race, or you want to be consistent, or you have tire degradation or things like that, you try to drive more like 90%, 80%. So if you know that the latest you can brake is 80 meters, in the race you might brake 82, 83. But again, we come back always to that, to the thing I said, is the references. If your references are strong, you can build consistency. But if your references are not strong, it's very difficult to build consistency, because it's all in the feeling. So it's very difficult when you come to a corner at 250 kilometers an hour to brake exactly at the same place every lap. But if your references are very strong, then it makes things a lot easier, and it makes you a much more consistent racing driver. Instead of just going out and then just, you know, okay, now I brake, now I accelerate. No, you have strong, like, poof, okay, 80 meters, now I turn. Now I'm on the apex, I apply the power. Then you build, obviously a spin. Then you are building consistency that way. Always we are going to come back to that reference. No matter what you're looking at, it's in order to know exactly what you're doing and to get better at what you're doing, you need to know exactly what's happening. And if you just do it by feel, it's very complicated to be precise. For example, we have a lot of young karter, people that comes from karting. They don't really learn to have references in karting. So when they jump to cars, often if you ask them, they go on a new track and you ask them, where are you braking at the end of the straight? And they will tell you, well, I brake, I don't know where I brake. And you say, okay, but you need to look. You need to look at the 100-meter board. You need to look at the curb. You need to have very strong reference. And often they do it by feel, because that's how they did it in the go-kart, in the karting career. And when they move up to cars, it's very difficult for them to start applying this discipline when they are driving a car. And I think for everybody, it's a bit the same. For someone that gets into racing also, it's not something you would think. You have so much to focus on. You have to focus on the vision. You have to focus on the speed. You have to focus on the line. So it's very difficult. But if you start putting some structure in your driving and you start to put some very strong references, then it makes your life a lot easier, because then you, like I explained earlier with the domino, you working in steps, and when you are working in steps, it's much easier to build something strong from there.